All right. Once a year, I like to tell the story of the Port Richmond Avengers. This is the neighborhood I grew up in, and which means this is the neighborhood I was like a young teenager, 12, 11. I was probably like I'm well aware that I'm an annoying asshole. I'm well aware of it, but I have a little charm. That's why you watch. But when I was 12 years old, I was just an asshole, right? Little asshole, just going around doing dumb things. And all my friends, guess what? They were assholes too. And we were pretty horrible people. And we did. Oh, this is Old Carroll School. This is no longer a school; it's an apartments. We would make it a game. I don't know how we did it. We would climb up on the windows and we would like walk the ledge. Matter of fact, I think we would start it over there. We would walk the ledge and walk all the way around the building. I don't know why we thought that was fun, but that's what we did. So we were assholes. See, like I just said, we were climbing those things for no reason. We were just being assholes. And around here, there was a guy. I'm going to call him the Whistler. We had another nickname for him, but in these days and ages, you're not allowed to use that word no more because it's one of those. You used to be able to say it. Oh no, I'll use it in a sentence properly, and then you'll hear the word and you'll know why I can't say it. There are many versions of racing. There's stock car racing. There's goat kart racing. Sometimes people ride the midget tracks, right? So there used to be this guy, and we would call him Little Man. We call him Little Man, right? But we would say the bird for the track. And he was this guy. He was about, he was like a Danny DeVito. He wasn't like really necessarily, he wasn't 3 foot nothing. He was like maybe 4'2". He was a big little fella. And he lived around here. And what we would do, we were horrible human beings. But then again, his response wasn't very good. He was a tad crazy. We would knock on the door. I would never do this, by the way. I'm not that type of asshole. I was just hanging out with these assholes. It's usually Mikey Food Stamp. He would be the troublemaker. But we would knock on little fella's door, and then he would chase us all throughout the neighborhood, up and down the streets. And he wouldn't just chase us like running. He would chase us on his 10-speed bike with a sword, like a legit sword. And for some reason, not one of these adults who living in this neighborhood would say, "Hey, little fella, why are you riding around with the sword chasing the kids?" No one ever. Probably some of the neighbors probably wanted him to get us, but he would pedal with his little legs, and he had his big sword, and he would go up and down the neighborhood looking for us. And that was little fella. So he lived, as a matter of fact, I'll show you where he lived. He don't live there no more. Now other people, know what's funny? Different people, different groups of friends had different nicknames for the neighborhood crazy people. And that's what we were doing. Every neighborhood has some crazy people that would chase us. So I'm assuming one day somebody saw him on his bike and said something, and he chased them, and they're like, "Ha, I'm going to tell all my friends, if we call him that, he'll chase us. That's funny." And then somehow it got into a sword. He never got us. Couldn't pedal fast enough with those little legs. And it was a 10-speed bike. He should have been. It was too big for him. It took him like 2-3 minutes to get on the bike. That's how we got a big head start. All right, Rick the puppy, be careful. We're near the house of little fella. Yeah, but anyway, there was another guy, John, who lives in Port Richmond, who he comments on the videos once in a while. John, he called little fella, he called him the Whistler. And I don't know why he could put the Whistler. He lived one of these houses, probably the ones with the blinds off messed up because he was always looking through them. Yeah, but these people living around here, they never said anything to him. Like, hey, why are you riding a bike around with a sword? Because I know if I saw a guy riding a bike with a sword, I sure as hell would, I'd probably ignore it. That's what I would probably do. Okay, so that is the story of Little Fella. The next story of the Port Richmond Avengers are the Deff and Dorf twins. And I don't know how they came into our lives, but the Deff and Dorf twins were these two guys, and they were twins, and they were like, I don't know if they were mentally challenged, or just dumb. Like, there's a difference. Like, I don't know if they had issues or they were just dumb guys. Matter of fact, they might be at the bar right now. Look at the two 10-speed bikes. So the Deff and Dorf twins, these guys might have been the last ones of the Port Richmond Avengers that I dealt with. Because after you hit 13, 14, getting chased by adult men, it just isn't fun. And so the Deff and Dorf twins, they would always mess with us at this park. This is the library park. That's what I called it. Some people call it Powers Park. It's on Ann Street. Matter of fact, I grew up most of my life as a kid on this street, a block up. And come on, Rick, now don't smell there. And the Deff and Dorf twins, they had technology. They had walkie-talkies and BMX bikes. And we would say stuff to them like, Hey, I don't know. I don't even know how we got the Deff and Dorf twins into our life. But they would show up. We would play kickball. And they would, like, make us stop playing kickball because they were like, hey, you're going to break a window in the library. And, like, the goddamn windows are fenced in. Or we would, you know what we would do? We would climb on top of the air conditioning. There was, like, an air conditioning unit. And it was fenced in. And we would climb on top of there. And they would get off the air conditioner thing, and we're like, screw you. And then they would chase us. That's how it would start. And but they had walkie-talkies and BMX bikes. Come on, Rick, we're gonna go this way. And so they had walkie-talkies and BMX bikes. And one time, they got really close to getting Mikey food stamp. That was my one of my childhood friends. And I remember the one Deff and Dorf twin had Mikey food stamp like penned behind the fence like this. And Mikey Food Stamp gave it an old push the Deff and Dorf over and ran away. Oh, it was scary. It was scary, Rick the puppy. A lot of dogs in this park today. It's a gorgeous day. There they are, cherry blossoms. For some reason, they're a big deal in Washington, D.C. Philadelphia, they're everywhere. Oh, now the next person I'm going to talk about, he actually lives in the house where we used to mess with him, and I haven't seen him in over 40, not 40, in over 35 years, and that guy is Movie Monster. And Movie Monster was this guy, you would knock on his door, and I don't know if his brother died in Vietnam, but we would knock on the door. I wouldn't do this. It's mostly Mikey Food Stamp. He would knock on the door, and he would say, hey, Teddy, I killed your brother. Horrible. Hey, Teddy, I killed your brother. And then Teddy would chase us all throughout the neighborhood. But he wouldn't run. He wouldn't, sprint after us. He would walk after us like a movie monster. So we would Rick the puppy, be quiet. We're near Movie Monster's house. So we would knock on his door. God, Teddy, I killed your brother. And then he would chase us all day. We'd knock at 11. We're 5 o'clock in the afternoon. We're at Richmond School. We're playing stickball. We got to stop the game because down the street we see Movie Monster coming. And like I said, he was like a movie monster. He wouldn't run after you. He would walk after you. I don't know who gave these people their nicknames, but Movie Monster is probably the greatest nickname any human being could get. The same. This is exactly when I grew up. This is what it was. It's exactly what it was. The only thing different is every house in the neighborhood had one of those lanterns back in the day. There was a thing in 1990. There was a guy going around. Look, there's one across the street. We go around, and they would put these little lampposts in front of your house, and people, everybody that says another, but nobody has them anymore. Where the hell did they all go? Yeah, so yeah, Movie Monster, man, it was bad. I remember one time we were in Kmart, me and Mikey Food Stamp, maybe John Thomas. We were in Kmart playing Kmart tag. That was something we did. We would go to Kmart and play tag because it was air conditioned. I told you we were assholes. And I remember one time Movie Monster saw us, and he was with his mom, so he couldn't be like, I don't know, he had to behave for some reason. And it was like the only time Movie Monster, and like we were like 5 feet away, and there was no, it was just very weird. It was kind of like we were off the clock, so we couldn't do our bullshit. So there was Movie Monster, the Deff and Dorf twins, Little Fella, and then Gorilla. Gorilla was this guy. Now in 1987, I didn't know what methamphetamines were. I do know what they are now, and I know they're a thing. And I'm pretty sure this guy was on meth. Maybe. I could be wrong. I was just a child. But I'll tell you why I think he might have been on meth. By the way, this is the old PAL. There's a basketball court up there. All the kids at Port Richmond. There's probably like 2 years of your life you spend most of your time in PAL. There's a pool table, basketball court, air hockey. And inside the building is a cop. Like a cop who... you know what? There was a cop who... I always thought it used to be like a cop who was hurt would work there until he could go back on the street. But I don't think that's the case anymore. So it's like a safe spot for kids to go. Nothing bad happens there because there's a cop there all the time. So it's a safe space for kids to hang out. I'll tell you, the spot that wasn't safe to hang out was with Mikey Food Stamp at Port Richmond we walked past Gorilla's house because Gorilla was this guy. You would knock on his door, and he would chase you. And he was scary. He was like maybe, he kind of reminded me of Ron Jeremy, but like not with the long hair, with a short haircut. And so he looked he looked like Ron Jeremy. So picture that. So, oh, look at this, Ethel's. This is the corner store. I grew up on this street for a few years. Then we moved to a bigger house a few blocks away. But this was a store called Ethel's, and I would come in here. This was my corner store. I get soda. And not really a corner store. You get soda, pretzels, stuff like that. Did they sell milk? I think they did sell milk. This was the basement to Ethel's. All right. And I used to go in this side door here, and they would have an arcade machine. My favorite game playing there was Popeye. I used to like playing Popeye. It was a good time. Matter of fact, see where that cherry blossom tree is? I tell you, cherry blossoms are everywhere in Philadelphia. I lived at the house next door to this tree, and I remember the day this tree was planted. And now look at it. Look, see, there's the lamp. There's the lamp. There's the lamp. There's the lamp. But this is the house I grew up in. In that living room is where I saw the Challenger explosion happen. That's back in the day, kids. You know, I would come home from lunch. I would go to school here. I would come home for lunch, and I would watch The Price is Right, and I would watch The Price is Right, and then go back to school. And I remember one of my lunches, I went, And I remember we were watching Price is Right, and they broke in, and they said, yes, and the spaceship blew up. And we watched it. It terrorized me. To the point, I still, to this day, I have nightmares about blowing up in a rocket ship. It's like one of my fears is like the end of the world's happening. And like, listen, the world's going to end. You got to get on this rocket. And I'm like, I think I'm good. I think I'm gonna die. I think I'm good with dying than going on a rocket ship, just in case it's gonna blow up. So that's something that's something. By the way, more of the lights. that was something that always stuck with me. So right around here, when I would walk down these streets, this is Gall Street, when I would walk down this street with Mikey Food Stamp, Mike would all of a sudden, he'd go, oh, listen, I got to run ahead. I got to go see that guy up ahead. And I'm like, oh, okay. I don't know why I fell for it every time. So he would run up ahead, and whoever else was with me, maybe it was the Turner brothers or Phil Yates, whoever it was. We didn't know who. We would just be walking, just minding our own business. Mikey Food Stamp goes running up ahead, and he would knock on Gorilla's door. So by the time we get to Gall and Allegheny, there is a messed up Ron Jeremy getting ready to chase us. It was so scary. Sometimes, whenever we would get to this part of Allegheny Ave, I would always cross the street. I just didn't want anything to do with Gorilla, because Gorilla, he lived across the street on Allegheny Ave. And the craziest thing I ever saw in my life, I don't think I'll ever see anything. It's straight out of a horror movie. So I think he lived in one of the apartment buildings, and we would knock on the door, and he would chase us. And he got real close to Mike one day, and Mikey Food Stamp picked up a car battery and threw it at Gorilla, and it bounced off his shoulder. Like, he just hit him, and he just kept walking like the Terminator. It was so scary. Like there's no way. Like, he should have killed us. That battery should have broke his shoulder. It might have. I don't know, but it was scary. So, yeah. So I whenever we got to this, after the car battery incident, which happened in the alleyway right there, no, never again with Gorilla. This is Our Lady Help a Christian Church. The churches in Port Richmond were segregated, sort of, kind of. The German church, the Irish church, the Polish church. The Italian church was MDG. That's a little bit down the way. That church closed down a while ago, maybe like a decade ago. Go on, Rick the puppy. Here we are, back on Chatham Street. This is the Atlas Casket Company. There's somebody in there, so I guess they're still open. It's a pretty... There's the old Atlas Company sign. All right, here's some prices. I need to know this, please. 3211 Chatham Street. C-H-A-T-H-A-M, Chatham. C-H-A-T-H-A-M. 3211 Chatham. You got to let me know how much that's going for in the comments, please. All right, let me take a guess. I like to guess before you guys write the comments. I'm going to say first off, there ain't parking anywhere near this house. You ain't parking. I'm going to say $400,000. Let me know in the comments. How much is that going for? There you go. Got the milk crate basketball net. Not really, you come here, you hang it up, you practice, get some shots in. Not regulation size. See, parking is such an issue on this block that people have to put these planters up in front of their houses so people don't park on their pavement. Come on, Rick the puppy. What is this? Look at this. Parts peddler. That's awesome. On their old car. They always have old cars sitting out here. Oh, it was like the Blues Brothers car. That looks like Christine. I don't even know. What kind of car is this? Is that an MG? I'm not a car guy. Cars never... MG. That's pretty cool. That's not a cop. That's the Fuzz. I've seen this car in the neighborhood. That's pretty cool, man. How many times are you going to say cool? Yeah, I'm not a car guy. Cars don't do anything for me. I like looking at old cars, but you know, if I see like a Maserati going down the street, I'm not really impressed with the Maserati. I more think about how crazy that person is for driving a Maserati in Philadelphia with the way people are these days. Illegal quads, dirt bikes everywhere. And listen, I appreciate you watching it. So if you can, do me a favor, hit the like button. Hey, do me another favor, subscribe. Oh, look at this. See, I just proved myself wrong. I was impressed by that car, but that was a Corvette. I found out something. Sometimes there's car brands that you never heard of. And usually, if you never heard of them, they're really, really expensive. Oh, look at this little piece of art. Oh, somebody died here. Uh-oh. See, that's what they do. When people get like hit by a bike, or they're riding a bike and get hit by a car, they'll do one of these roadside memorials. I don't know if it's where somebody was shot here. James Panis. Jason Panis. Why do I know that name? That was a news story, I think. And there are people signed the poll. Jason, never forgotten. Yeah, I know that. I think that was a kid got killed here. So anyway, if you like this video, by the way, the AutoZone, that was the Kmart where we met Movie Monster. That's where it all went down. Or actually, it didn't went down.